The repo man didn't even look Nathan in the eye as he hooked the car to the tow truck, dragging away the last piece of dignity Nathan had left. He stood in his driveway, holding a box of cheap belongings from the office he'd been fired from an hour earlier, while his neighbor watched from behind a curtain. At 42, Nathan was a statistical zero, bankrupt, homeless, and discarded by a world that only loves winners. But as the taillights of his car disappeared into the rain, Nathan didn't drop his head. He started walking toward the public library. For 5 years, Nathan had lived in a cycle of noble failures. He had tried to launch 3 different social enterprises, each one collapsing under the weight of bad timing or lack of capital. He had spent his life savings, lost his apartment, and watched his friends stop answering his calls. He had become a ghost in his own life, haunted by the no he heard from every investor and every employer. The suffering wasn't just financial. It was a slow erosion of his spirit. He had fallen into the trap of believing that failure was his identity rather than his teacher. He spent his nights in a crowded shelter, surrounded by the smell of damp wool and despair, whispering to himself that he had tried enough. On a Tuesday morning in the basement of that library, Nathan stumbled upon a biography of a man who had failed until he was 60. A single sentence leapt off the page. "The world only breaks you so it can see what you are made of, iron or glass." Nathan realized he had been acting like glass. Every no had shattered him. He decided then that he would become iron. He changed his mindset from, "Why is this happening to me?" to "What is this preparing me for?" He stopped asking for permission to succeed and started building his own ladder. He spent 16 hours a day learning digital architecture on the library's free computers. When his eyes burned, he splashed them with cold water and kept going. 2 years later, the man from the library was no longer a ghost. Nathan had developed a decentralized logistics software that solved the very problems his first 3 companies had stumbled over. Because he had failed so many times, he knew exactly where the pitfalls were. He wasn't just a programmer. He was a battle-hardened veteran. The day his software was acquired by a global shipping giant, Nathan didn't buy a mansion. He went back to that same library and donated a dozen high-end computers. The power of never giving up isn't about stubbornness. It's about evolution. Nathan realized that his 5 years of suffering were actually his tuition. If you are currently in the middle of your no, remember, the only way to truly fail is to stop moving. As long as you are breathing, your story is still being written, and the best chapters usually come after the darkest ones.